Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Super Robot Wars Archives. My name is still Austin, and we are still playing Super Robot Wars R, though we're nearly done. It's a little bit late for me. It's maybe dubious of me to start the scenario that I find just phenomenally long, but let's rock. It's also been a bit since I've last recorded. I've started putting up videos since the recording sessions have begun, so that's been exciting. Honestly, pretty pleased with the views I'm getting. I did not expect anyone to watch, so any numbers are delightful to me. So I hope you'll be patient with me if I do not remember what units we have, or if there's someone that I did not deploy that we were using in previous scenarios. But let's rock. So, we have... We see everything that's going to be on the field kind of already, but we're going to have a lot of enemies reinforcing. We're going to have a lot of bosses that are going to re-show up in different units over the course of the scenario. So we have the sort of standard fare of the Dieter enemies. We have the II, the Metenger, and the Nibelguns. But one, a two, not that one, a three, and a four. All of the Megaborg generals that are in this game are here ready to attack. Once we destroy their Nibelguns, they'll turn into their regular bosses. So, we're going to need to kill them twice. And then all the way down here, we have another little formation of Koros, and once we destroy her II, she will then become a boss. And then once we destroy her, another boss will spawn. So none of them are going to be particularly challenging because we can take them on one at a time. The trouble is twofold. A, if we activate all of them at the same time, and B, you'll notice there was a pause to get down here. So if we want to be efficient time-wise, we're going to be taking a lot of turns. Or no, that's the opposite of true. We're going to need to be... It's going to be hard to be efficient. We're going to need to be taking a lot of turns to get most of this done. But usually I tend to stay up here and destroy this semicircle, this quarter circle. And then once everything's dead, start moving down. But I think I might start pushing down a little bit more early on. We'll see what happens. But let's get everyone in form. Oh, I wonder if everyone can hear that. Hopefully not. I don't think I can edit it out because it's going to be happening over top of me. I forgot about this, but my laundry machine is very loud. So, it'll be gone in at most 5 minutes. Let's toss... Okay, who has dedication? No, that's not right. This one, the one we always start with. We have... Oh, right, Bright has it now, too. Rain has it. Katra, Funsaiki, and... I remember now, we were not using the Combattler or the Voltace for it anymore because Bright recently got it. We don't want to use Katra's because he has a litany of good spirits to use. So we want to get a group around 1, 2, and 3. The Combattler and the Voltace definitely want to be there to start. We can actually start charging people up this turn because of where 2 of these are placed. Duo and the Getter. This is the God Gundam, so Funsaiki can go here and we can start that next turn. And that'll work too, I think. We do get use of both battleships, I believe, from this point moving forward. So we'll take advantage of some of that long range. But we're probably not going to end up using Yuriko all that much beyond what we've been doing. Maybe she's already been around. I guess she was at least around in the last scenario. Again, you can tell I have not played in a while. We do at least want to get her out of the way so we can get everyone around our Spiriters next turn. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we can not the Yatenko, Nadeshko. I knew there's a Y in it now because of the upgraded version. But she's got 8 range, so we can at least snipe something next turn with her. And the Master Gundam is kind of not going to be around that much longer. I probably won't deploy him next scenario. And the Daitarn is forced because of it being a Daitarn-themed mission scenario. So, he's just here. Even at base, still a pretty defensible unit. I think he got overcompensated for a little bit, at least in this game so far, because he is the only like real official super robot. Like there's some other niche cases for sure. Like you could definitely argue that G Gundam is a super robot version of Gundam. I probably also could have moved him, but that's fine. But he's the only super robot pilot that has a single pilot to him. Also, I say he's doing good, but that first hit from the II was rough. I think they only have 1 weapon each. Oh no, they have 2. No, they still used a missile though. I was wondering why that first one did so much damage comparatively. I don't have good answers. We did play around on the Nuts and Bolts episode with potential last time, but that didn't really give us any good answers, and no way it's activating that early on in his HP pool. I don't think he's a high enough level. We can look, though. Oh, he's potential level 7, so at... No, but it was still activating at, like, around 50%. I actually don't know if you will know an answer to that from that episode. I've recorded part of it now, but it got about 3 hours of me recording on my own trying to fill in spreadsheets, and to no avail. I got no answers that I liked. So I just went to bed to think on it, and I've still not come up with a better way to test. So at this point, I don't know what the end answer is. I was gonna say, hopefully you do, but like you definitely have the videos out, but just hopefully we did actually find a definitive answer is, I guess, the real thing. Okay, everyone is charged up as much as we are going to spend right now. Yeah. Let's get you on the horse. And let's go to work. I am a little spooked by this scenario, too. While I was gathering sprites for this game, I did just use this save file to get the sprites of all of the Daitarn enemies. Well, same with the one we intended to. And things did not go that well. I obviously didn't, like, play the whole scenario. I did not play the game sincerely. I was just sort of with speed up on mashing through, but it did not go well. Also, did it say that that pilot had 120 morale? No, okay. Man, I really am tired. I hope that will be fun and funny, and not just me being bad at the game. And then you can ask, what's different than normal when you are awake? Hopefully a lot. I hope. The game's being bad at the game, though. I think it was the longest it's frozen. I feel like that's a good time where if I was live, we could have... There'll be like very brief ask me anythings. Once it freezes the first question and we can answer for the next bit of the game. We do want to clear as many of the generics as we can before we start in on a boss or two. So... You know, I think I like sending Duo down. Let's check some stats against things. But he does have a Haro on. So... Yeah. With a focus, he's probably going to be a prime target for some of these attacks because he's the only thing in range. But without any, like, meaningful... There will be no meaningful repercussion on the part of the enemy. That's not a good play. I don't want the excellence to stay back that far. We gotta push out. We do have support attacks we could use. I'm looking forward to some of the other games where I really feel like I have to lean on those actions more. We've really not used the support attacks to their full potential in this game, I don't think. There's definitely some videos going back and watching, they're like, oh, I don't remember thinking through it that well, but I guess I did. But with all of the usual things I have grumbled about, in this scenario especially, where it's just such a long stretch to move to get to enemies, odds are you aren't going to be, like, hanging together and getting those support attacks, because you have to, like, keep moving, keep repositioning. I am tempted to go down here with the Combattler. I think that's fine. I forgot how much movement we had on Domon here. I'm so used to him being very slow. Oh, actually, I guess I'm taking this for granted because I'm used to playing these scenarios. This one in particular, I've tried lots of different clears on this one, especially. But I forgot to heal the Diatron. I healed the Excellence instead. That's fine, we can do that next turn. But actually, perfect timing. All of those enemies down there on the bottom that we just saw do not move under any circumstances. They are always going to stay put. So it's not like we can also just sit up here murdering the rest of these enemies, and they'll come to us eventually. Like, it won't happen. Before I'm talking lies, let's make sure I at the very least I can say for absolute certain that Koros and the boss that spawns after her do not. But let's double check that. Yes, the Nibelgun and the Metenger do not move. The ones that are around her. The ones that are around her. There's no reason to waste 100 energy on a Metenger. That works. The bosses will not start moving for 2 more turns. So that gives us plenty of time to clear the generics. And we can also pop someone in range, like for instance Duo, to be able to actually start making some progress on them. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, that's in range of... Oh, it's not in range of this one, too. I'm trying to figure if I can be in range of 3 of them. Right, where... If we could move down a space from where we were... I think we were already at max movement, though. Nope, we super weren't. Never mind. Okay, let's... We're not going to waste a focus this turn. There's 2 10%, and we also have access to Hyper Jammer? Yeah, Hyper Jammer is the name of the ability on the Death Side Hell. Well, we don't actually have Hyper Jammer yet. We do have the Beam Code, but... What morale is he? Oh, he's only 125. Once he gets to 130, we have access to the Hyper Jammer. That's only 3 spaces away. Let's get the Combattler in. But see, because everything is destroying stuff so fast now... Do we actually want to? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That works out well. So we could go, as long as we're like here, which in that case we did not need to use an Excel. I don't think we did. No, we did not. This keeps us out of the range of everything other than this nibble gun. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, they also only even have 7 range. I could have been one closer. That's fine. Just so we don't waste the duo positioning. We don't really want them attacking the combattler. It doesn't have a lot at that long of a range. And by a lot, I mean anything meaningful. And then we have the rest of the group for up here sweep down. What's the Getter's energy situation like? It has an energy restore small. So we're getting back, what, 38 plus 5 is 43 energy a turn. So it's a, that's the regular Getter beam will be a good use. We'll definitely have some downturns. Some turns that will have downtime in them. We'll have some downturns, makes it sound like we're going to intentionally have turns where we're gonna, like, flub actions. Worry not, all of my flubbed actions are never intentional. They are only because of my own incompetence. I think I like having the Deshko take out this Matengar better. That gives her something to do that is also kind of the farthest away, right? We want the rest of our units pushed up a little bit more, and that's the farthest back. What level is Bright's only 38. Getting Bright some more kills. We could try and get Bright this kill. If I wanted to, I could spend some time looking at where his next levels are, or that one too. Where his next levels are, to try to find out if his leadership will show up anytime soon. Because another point of leadership would really make a big difference. He's at 4 right now? Oh, wait, never mind. That is bigger than I was just thinking I was looking at. Scratch everything I said. He doesn't need to get kills. He just needs to be moving forward to give everyone that aura. Not that he, like, can't get them, just not something I need to factor in. And yeah, giving the Daitarn something meaningful to do is probably good. It's here, it's wasting a spot for us. Oh, I don't know if that's enough power off of frame. We can get her next to Domon. Does she have a 5 range? No. But she does have a 2 range off of it, at the very least the Vulcans. Oh, just regular punch fight works too. That will guarantee it. Now, we probably could have actually gotten it done just with a regular melee if we were closer. That's okay. I was underestimating how easy it was to get rain level, so I do want to give her some more now to give her some more potential SP. I don't know if we're gonna hit another. Is it Rouse? I think it might be Rouse. Again, it's late for me. I'm not gonna remember these names well. I think we're out in terms of getting her another level of the giving people morale spirit, but she can at least get a level of dedication still. Or sorry, we're out on the one that gives people morale. We do still have time to give her a level probably that gives people some SP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that is in duo's range, so we want to stay out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, the Sandrock is not, but that's fine. So we can go here. Never mind. Oh, I was giving the Taugeese more credit because it used to be the one that was holding our Haro for us, but it no longer does. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad. Hold on, who was he getting more Valor off of? Valor. Right, where off of it is with Domon. That's what I would have assumed, but may as well check. Okay. This position does work, though. Yes, it does. This puts Domon in the same line as Catra, which means he is a potential target for the other Nibelgun, but that's okay. They're not going to be perfect. I guess it's kind of the same either way, right? If this position allows us to attack this Nibelgun closer, but we're losing out on one of these. If we're losing out on this attack, going to Duo because it's going to Domon, that's kind of the same thing. We bought ourselves the same action with the same action, just in a different position. Yeah. Oh, it's two of them too. I had a good strategy, and then I said, let's throw that in the dumpster. That works out fine. We do need to be cognizant that this is one of the Megaborg generals. This is Beltori's Nibelgun, so we are starting a boss up. What I'm hoping for is we can open a tank, and then from there destroy the boss immediately. Okay, because of my positioning, how dense we are at the top was really a bad plan, but that's okay. So let's embrace what we've got going on down here. Let's get Duo closer. What weapon is this using? This is the cannons, the main battle. Okay. That one was just considerably more accurate. So I definitely crossed, an accuracy threshold. Or a range threshold for which kind of weapon it was using. So I think we're going to have Duo, and the Combattler have now set, is this Zenoya's? No, it's Edwin's. Nibelgun ready to be opened during enemy phase. And then there was Zenoya's. I knew she was close. So we can destroy it then next turn. So if I remember correctly, because it's not the robot that's taking the action, but the pilot, or the unit's taking the action, but the pilot, if Edwin attacks and we counter and destroy the unit he is in, and that will always spawn his Megaborg, but he won't get an extra turn with that unit because it's already gone. If you could somehow counter and do like a map attack, then maybe they would, but I don't think that's a thing that happens in Super Robot Wars. Not at least the ones I've played. I think opening with the maybe not. We've been opening with the Diatarn. We could probably, we'll open with the Diatarn. I was gonna say we can probably kill this and get some good money off of it, but the money is not scaled off of the pilot, it is scaled off of the unit. They are still in the garbage Nibelguns. Alright, this will definitely get the boss out. And we do have this whole pack of people up here. And we'll leapfrog our way down. This is just spend that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. That'll do fine. And then the Carrot can come in and heal George as our primary target right now, if need be. These bosses are only worth 5,000, so we will fund them, but it won't be that big a deal. Well, actually, so here's the deal. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bosses. So we don't actually even need that many fortunes or blessings to get full credit for this scenario. What's he have? He has a thruster module. What next? Well, I did say I wanted people in support range, and now I have analysis paralysis of who gets to take their turn first, because there's a lot of supports we can activate. And then you're getting a support off of the God Gundam. That's one. Also, for clarity's sake, literally none of these bosses run away, because this is the last time we're going to be seeing these bosses. All the Megaborgs stay, Cross stays, and the boss that she spawns will also stay. I'm wondering if we can also either start Mendel, maybe if even finish him, and or get rid of this Nibelgun this turn too. 7,000 is not a lot of HP left. A well-placed attack from one of our better units can probably kill him. We could definitely do it with a Valor. We maybe don't have to do it with a Valor. Domon could probably do it here. Let's not risk that. We've got SP to spare. We'll be fine, and if I regret it later, that's just content. This is a boss fight. I don't remember if we've seen all of the Megaborgs, but we'll make sure we do now. They at least have interesting designs. I do question some of them on their thoughtfulness and carefulness. Like, for instance, I'm always going to ask questions whenever we have the, like, quintessential chieftain design about whether we're engaging in some unintentional, or hopefully not intentional, bad either way, racism. It does seem a very prominent problem in a lot of this era of Japanese media. We just sort of got used to the imagery of it. We, as if A, we are monolithic, or B, I am Japanese. But, you know, it is like part of the zeitgeist to look at the chieftain selling cigars and go, yep, that looks normal. And that definitely bleeds into our design some. Take, for instance, not Laminace 40. What's the other one? Ryu Knights. There's also, like, the Ryu Chief. Which is all of this to say, none of which to say. In saying any of this doesn't necessarily have to say anything about, like, the character of these individuals. I've not actually seen either Daitarn. I've seen a little bit of Daitarn. I've seen the Portuguese version, the Tutirobo, whatever country Tutirobo premiered in. And I have not watched Reunite, so like I don't know if their character communicates something interesting or meaningful or sincere given the nature of their designs. So like that, there's that possibility does exist. But I'm at least always gonna like I keep forgetting to turn the animations off. I'm at least always gonna call into question whenever we specifically about the way in which we use indigenous people iconography for like the more monstrous or the more like tribal and therefore implicitly more primitive or like less civilized, right? With that said, I think it is very interesting that, you know, it is also a robot. Sort of the giant robot is the symbol of technological advancement, right? It is quintessentially the apex of technology as far as a lot of these series go. So there's some fascinating juxtaposition there, but I don't know if I want to give the show credit for that or not. Again, I haven't seen it, so maybe it should. Let's go. If we love, then we will also get the fortune. We're at 13,000. I think Domon can probably accomplish that. No, we want to go below him. That does get us closer to the Nibelgun on the right of us in case it wants to attack us. We actually have a good counter that way, and we're just lower down anyway. Oh. Drat. How much were we off by? 744. Well... Can rain. Nope. Nope. No one's getting that one. That's okay. We will leave that to next turn. I will just remember to... Actually, no, we don't want to rain that out in the open. She won't have any supports, and this unit is not upgraded. That's everyone. We just don't want to kill it on enemy phase because we want to get that extra 5k. That's fine. Yeah, and let's see if my hypothesis, my posit was correct. So this is Edwin's down. Does he get a turn as his Mega Board? No, he does not. Okay, great. Exactly what we were expecting. I feel comfortable saying we probably clear all of these this turn. So I think we're just going to send people down real far. Oh, he's got an HP restore small. Yeah, he does, because that's a lot more HP than I left him with. Nope, that's not the right unit. We can go here and get a support attack for the kill. I think I prefer that. Just to get us even one space closer. We probably could have also put EXP on. At this point, though, I kind of don't care. We're not really getting any more abilities or spirits that are really making that much of a difference. Like, potential could go up some more, but it doesn't matter all that much. And any stat points are pretty quickly negated by either the enemies getting the same levels as us, or just them not being a meaningful contribution to the overall formulas, at least as far as 1 point goes. I had wondered whether we were going to have a conversation about bases versus growths as we were learning about these games in the way that, like, Fire Emblem does. Right? But Fire Emblem has random stats. We do not. So I figured maybe that was not a question that would be relevant to us. Turns out, nope, we still need to ask bases versus growths. Because odds are you are not going to be gaining... You are not going to be doubling your bases, maybe even getting half as much of your bases over the course of the game. So, yep, that still matters a lot more. Every time. We're just going to waste that Tauki's move so many times. We probably actually won't get this Zenoya, especially now. I think there was definitely a better way to execute this turn. I don't know how to implement this. Something I would love to do. And maybe this will just also happen later once I have more of a base of viewership. But getting a copy of a turn and then posting it somewhere for people to have, like, as we can all, like, puzzle through more interesting clears or more efficient clears. And not just for everyone else to, like, solve it or do it for me, right? Like, I'll probably go back and look and go, you know, how can we optimize these? It is... I think we spend a lot of time... I have heard a lot of people spend a lot of time talking about that sort of thing with a lot of collectible card games like Magic and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! and as well as just board games in general, and asking whether or not that activity is actually really relevant because you are just learning about the context that you are already in. But I I am of the impression that that kind of practice does still matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll work. Because even if you are working under context that you might not otherwise have other times, you are still learning how to identify that context and use that, or like apply that context. If the thing you're trying to practice is that specific scenario, then like, yeah, I think you kind of missed the point of doing something like that. But if you're trying to learn like how to approach solving those problems or applying those skills in future attempts, then that's like actually useful. That also that sentence, that whole like diatribe there became less useful because I started trying to make it too general. But if we're like trying to look at a clear that I'm doing and see if we can get more damage applied through like support attacks or something. If you're just trying to see which of those support attacks are, how many more support attacks we can squeeze out of that scenario, then like, yeah, you've missed the point. But if you were trying to figure out like, okay, what are generally good positions? What are good ways to think about positioning for future scenarios, both things such that you get better support attacks this scenario and in future scenarios, like that's where it becomes fun. Hopefully I don't need to explain all of that. Hopefully I'm just mouthing off stuff and everyone in the comments will go like, yeah, we know that, we're already doing that. But it feels worth explaining because I feel like that's not a lot how I hear people approach playing games. But maybe that's on me. I am a known social media avoider and hater, so maybe I'm just checking the wrong spots. And wouldn't it be delightful that this community puts me in my place? I was like, nah, we already got this handled, fam. You are joining into a space that has already handled a lot of these conversations. That would be cool. I would love it. I see no reason to give Zenoya a turn in her unit either. So we'll weaken here and then just skip out on enemy phase probably. Oh no, right, no, and then we destroy it on enemy phase and then she'll be ready to be shot down during player phase. We can... Let's get Rain in here next to somebody so we can have a support defense. And we'll just start having the Getter go. I don't remember if the Getter 2 still has more move or not. I think it should. I think the problem we were having before, yeah, with movement was just that it was either not on like flat terrain or I guess those are the same thing. I was gonna say, like, it's not on flat terrain where there were too many buildings in the way, but like that's the same thing, but just from different directions. Yeah, I figured we were attacking the Shining Gundam. I probably should have just moved her out of the way. Well, never mind. We will open her up on this phase too. We will leave. That's a really high hit on George. Can the Excellence do this? The Excellence can pretty safely. I could turn the attack off for one more attack at this point, but if animation's off for one more attack at this point, we're just gonna leave fun. We haven't shown animations in a while. We'll need to remember fondly visions of a past where we're not just staring at like AC fields as the rest of our units get down here. The Getter's actually getting here really quickly, but we're gonna do so actually pretty carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe this spot is safe. Let's switch back to the 1 and see if we can get there too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. Yep. We're gonna put up a wall too, just to make sure. We can get thoroughly trashed if we're taking shots from 9 units at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even if it is the getter. Okay. Do we just leave the... I don't love having the Taugeese back that far when it's making its attack. Surprisingly, Domon has full pivoted from going, I'm not sure he's going to make it, to, we can probably leave him back and he'll catch up. We also don't get to see the God Gundam take a lot of actions, so this is a good excuse to look at him. Speaking of, and to counter what I just said about social media, I have been poking around the SOW Reddit some more, just to like get a vibe for how people are feeling about things, especially given that we are still in the beginnings of Y being announced. I did not realize how maligned it was that there were so many Gundam entries in this series. I mean, I get it. If I wanted to play just a Gundam game, I probably would be going to, you know, SD Gundam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do understand that, but it did take me as a shock. So maybe it was a fool's errand to have us use a lot of Gundam units. Because do not get me wrong, as much as I love Gundam, I really, when I like embraced the series' ethos, yeah, the want to use and learn about series you would not otherwise have experienced definitely became that was definitely where I started falling in love with it. So I'm more than happy to switch things up for future playthroughs. Though with that said, I do have an idea of what we're going to do for our next playthrough, even if it's maybe for a new game. I think once we get halfway through me posting videos for this one, I'll put up a poll for what the plans are going to be. All of that contingent on whether or not Y comes out in the meantime or not. But we have, oh. Well, that's a shame. See, this is what happens when you're playing tired. Why did that do so little damage? Did I not put Valor on? I don't think I put Valor on. I think that may have been the problem there. Oops, whoops. Well, we can have the Dragon Gundam. We'll finish this off. Okay, we'll give him the XP too now. But yeah, we can have two different timelines. If Y does not come out in the future, if it doesn't come out in the future at all, given what's happening with the rights and the development team, or the studio that's making it. So, but yeah, if it doesn't come out, or if it does come out, we can have two different potential timelines. I won't say anything here yet, because, I mean, A, I don't know what my plan is right now, and B, by the time you are watching this, we will have long decided that, so it doesn't actually matter. I'm just trying not to get in the habit of promising something or suggesting something, and then people liking it, but then finding out, like, no, actually, that's not gonna work. Can the Carrot get down there? It has good move, but not that much move. Okay. And by good move, I mean we have put a lot of parts on it. Oh man, that is also such an interesting and hard question to ask. There are a lot of units that get a lot of benefits from parts and investment, and like that should count. Oh, I really scrubbed out on that position. I don't know what I was doing. Hopefully that will not. I mean, I'm sure it won't cost us. We only wasted a little bit of SP on that. Oh yeah, but how do you count investment into things? That was definitely a waste of wall. I definitely thought of that turn going very differently. Sorry, stay on track. So like any pilot, absolutely every single character would want more movement. If every character could be given more movement, they will always take that. But will they always take that over something else? And because of how the parts system works, it is a slightly different question than, say, a game where you just get a consumable that you can toss on one of your units and go, here's just a flat upgrade that takes up... That the only cost is the opportunity cost of spending it on one person and not on another. Right? Because if the movement's good on Karat and the movement's good on another unit, they could both have it. They would have to trade off, like, on and off for it. But we can still plan our turns and strategies around that, right? If the movement is good on Karat in this one case, and the movement is good on, I don't know, the Getter in this other case, like, that is a thing that we are allowed to do. But that does just mean the problem we are trying to ask gets infinitely more complicated, because it's not just a binary of, like, yes, no, turn on, do you have this thing or not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, because it's so easy. It's like, it's it's a little bit risky with Catra. So we could, maybe we should be taking shots off 9 of these. And put the wall up too. 1745. 1890. What's the worst that happens? And then we've got a couple of those for the naval guns. I do want to be careful not to destroy the II yet. It's holding Koros and opening up a boss while still having all these generics around does not sound like a good time. But yeah, it's much harder to make the call when it's not just the binary state of this part is good. Like, if they were just a thing you had to install in the unit and it permanently went away and you only got to use it once, we could just go, okay, this is the character that uses it the best, and then be done with that question. But I do feel like the parts are also, like, if used well, are also really polarizing. So it does also feel harder to make that call, because whoever already got the first one probably just wants to keep getting the investment. Right? As I have tried to play around with some challenges for these games, a lot of times the answer is just solved by, like, hard committing and investing into one unit, because the amount of stuff you can get off of upgrading is just so high, right? Like, the value of those upgrades is so much higher than most anything else you can do to your units. So that also makes it more challenging. I guess the reason it makes it more challenging being, if everything looks very similar, we're talking on much smaller axes. We're talking, like, much more nuanced, small scale changes that matter, rather than something like big and grandiose where, like, this unit inherently stands out. I guess, like, the Edict, I have not played any game with Ideon in it, but from what I understand, the Ideon stands out because of it having infinite energy, right? Like, that's a very unique quality that not a lot of, I don't think any other unit can claim to bring to the table. But you can suit up basically you can suit up most units and go. They can park themselves on a good terrain tile, get either armor or the evade bonuses they need to not take damage, and either 2-shot or 1-shot an enemy, right? Like pretty much every unit can do that once you've spent a lot of resources on them, especially in the later games. Not late, like, not at that point in the game, but in terms of the games that have been published later in the series history, right? You know what I mean? And giving pilots more skills. Like, I did see on the Reddit, too, at that same time when I was looking at the conversation about the, like, popularity and the prevalence of Gundam in this upcoming game. I was seeing someone ask about how morale worked, or like what the value of having a pilot get 20 extra morale was. But you can give that to any pilot at the later points of the series. And if there is space, because you can just equip you can give every pilot every skill. Every pilot does want that if you have the resources to invest into it. Will the Taugeese ever get to make a meaningful action? Who knows? So I would really like to figure out the answers to those questions. I think it's also one of the reasons why I started with some of these earlier games, because the answers are, at the very least, if they're not fully a choice between two, like a toggle of yes, no, good, bad, they're at least a little bit more reined in terms of what you can do to units and pilots. I think it's a little easier to answer the questions here, you know? But hard questions are often the ones that have the nature of asking the tough question is also usually what yields the much more satisfying answer. So again, do not misunderstand. I'm not shying away from the hard questions, but it feels a waste to try to start asking them and answering them if I don't have the tools and skill set to be able to give like a satisfactory and thorough answer. Because that's really what this is. It's like it has nothing to do with what people are asking me, what people think it should be. It's just the stuff that nags me is kind of where I'm like starting from, right? If I look at it and go, I'm deeply unsatisfied with going, I'm pretty sure that potential gives you more armor as you take damage. Like, okay, but pretty sure is not sure. I want to answer that specifically. Well, I'm pretty sure this unit is the best one. Okay, well, but why? I don't actually care what the answer is, right? Like, the best answer to that question is, who cares? But not because it's an unimportant question, just because I just want to figure it out. Like, there's a lot of little bits to figure out. Maybe I think about these games more than they sort of are meant to be. Maybe the actual ultimate answer is not, how do we, like, figure out what's good on which units? But just that, like, well, because a lot of things are good on pretty much every unit, just don't worry about it. Have fun. Big metal man punchy thing. A phrase that I've started using a lot, I guess, recently, is describing something as baby sensory information, but for blank. And I feel like the way I just described it sounds like that, so like that feels like insulting and therefore must be wrong. It can't just be that, like, pretty sprite picture to cool animation. And don't get me wrong, the sprites and the animations are excellent. I just spent like the last 20 hours, not the last 20 hours, but I've just spent like 20 hours looking at all the sprites in this game, pulling them so we can have like an actual sprite catalog of all of the units. So like they are very good sprites, let me tell you. We did not deserve the GBA. But I think there's got to be more to it than just that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have enough to get next to a friend. That's okay. It is wild to me that there's at least 4 games on the GBA, and many of them have overlapping units and do not use the same sprites. Why? I don't think anyone would have batted an eye if they had. Like, I don't think anyone would have complained if we used the exact same art for the getter, but nope, it's just different. They made a different one. I'm pretty sure for like the older games, they also did just use the same ones. Like I think the getter in 2, 3. Is it in EX? I don't remember if it's even in EX. In the complete box are the same as FNF Final. And like, I know they're in the same engine, but like, that's kind of my point. Like this, I think, what, it's R and then D and then J? J might be the first game on the DS. I don't remember. It's real darn tough to separate these things out when they're most identified by letters. I know technically the letter like stands for something, but I don't like am I a fake fan here if I tell you that I could not remember what they are? I gotta look them up every time to figure out what that letter means. Yes, the Taugeese did something, finally. Its positioning mattered. Yeah, the carrot's gonna dodge that. Okay. This is not the ideal position. That also did not take as long to get down there as I thought it was going to. I guess it feels also a little bit less time because I started moving down there right away. At least the getter could take some meaningful actions sometimes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. I'm measuring from the inside of that circle because the boss is going to arrive on this tile. The next boss is going to arrive on this tile. Gotta say, I both love and hate that these are not base tiles. Like, obviously, cool, sick, sweet. That's considerably more manageable. Thanks, very generous of you, game. But also, like, I don't know, again, just... You could have made it hard for me. I would not have minded if you made these bosses an absolute bear to take down. We'll see. Maybe I'm going to eat those words in approximately 5 or 30 minutes, depending on how long this takes. Well, that's fine. This might also be exceedingly ambitious positioning. That'll be fine. Okay. I suspect we can get Koros down this turn. The die turn probably isn't going to have that much more to do. No, it's got a lot of SP left. It might contribute a pretty chunky blow to one of these bosses. But let's start with him, right? Like, that's all done. And then everyone else that's already grouped up we want to use is ready for the boss. Okay. Who's got a skin? Nope, that's self-destruct. That's the wrong one. I started doing this at the beginning, and then just, I feel like I started this at the beginning where we were like, look at it and try to talk a little bit more detail about characters and units. I didn't even mention in those earlier videos that's going to get way sloppier in the middle, because it's just so much easier to just mush, throw things at it, and then destroy the problem. But these bosses are on the more difficult side, so let's take a look. So, we're looking at a very armor, very HP heavy unit. We've got A's in all potential terrains of water. Extra large does mean we're never missing, so that's good, at least. Unlike the II, that's, I think, small. We are the same on melee and range damage. The leadership won't matter. We're never going to have anything else in range. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the rest of the generics down before we brought her out. Not that she wasn't contributing it before, but, you know, it's going to be worse now that we have, like, an also serious boss fight. As we learned before, as we learned before, the potential doesn't really do much for damage. It just does stuff. It just does stuff for accuracy. So that will actually probably counter out a lot of her large size. That plus the 138 dodge, which is not. I don't think that's a ton. Hold on, let's look at what. Yeah, that's like 30 points. Well, okay, that's like that ends up being roughly. What, 7 times 3 is 21? That ends up being roughly 21% difference in terms of dodge compared to our really dodgy units. So decently so. Who's always face tanking? Oh yeah, it has about the same. Koros has about the same chance to dodge as the Combattler does at base value. Okay, so here's the real problem. 3 to 10 range is wild, and 75, 55, and 65 hit is insane. If I tried to go through it kind of fast, someone may have, hopefully people have already sussed out what's happening here. But we can run her out of energy for both of these attacks. It's possible. We might see it at the very end. I think it is potentially valid to try and run her out with some more safe actions if she's giving you trouble. But it's going to end up being a long fight because the next boss also might get some bad. So, yeah. Here, the reason we have that problem is we have another Haro on our hands. So, we'll be happy to take that off of you, Koros. We have at least 3 units that desperately want another one. We don't want to start with Fiona. That's literally the worst choice. She has so many supports she could. Though at this point, pretty much everyone does. Yeah, we also kind of want to get the hero supports going. Or not hero, duo. I think the Combattler is going to sit this one out as far as being our finisher for this fight. We have 2 flashes and still have a fortune if we need it. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, no, we got Koros easy. So then the Talgis can go on the ground and get this Catra support attack. I guess we probably actually won't end up using duos at all. That's a shame. Given all of our supports, I'm not going to bother with any of the SP, any of the spirits yet. I'm going to save those for our next boss. No, that was actually wrong, because if we do one of them, we're going to destroy him anyway, so never mind. We can have the Voltace come back. It can go on the ground to actually get the duo support like I said we were going to do. Perfect. Let's give it a way to ignore all of this. We have so much SP left in the tank. Yeah. But see, we don't even need to use it, though. And, like, it might be more efficient in terms of, like, actual action economy, but not turn economy. We can focus. So we probably could have fortune some of those Neeble guns. But at this point, we've mostly maxed out the units we care about. We could start putting some some points into the defensive properties of the units, we can start giving the other defensive properties to units, like the ones that they don't actually use. But that doesn't seem that big a deal, so... we're actually going to get to see Don Zosser this turn. Is he going to die this turn? That seems doubtful, but we're going to try. I also love Koros' model. I think it's so silly looking. It just, I don't think, translated very well to the super deformed art style, but... She looks like a bobblehead. It's so funny looking. There we go. Okay. Don Zosser is the big bad from Daitarn. And he will be plaguing us for the rest of this scenario. We don't have any more scans. We have those on both of these too, so we're out of luck there. Do we have any Daunts left? We do have some. Actually, this works out perfectly. If we don't kill him this turn, we have Daunts to spare next. One of the things with all of these bosses, Koros is, it's true for Koros also, as well as all the angels, the 3 angels we've seen for the original units, Zero and Emperor Galfa from the Gear Fighter series, all have really busted personalities that they will get, not SP, morale back exceedingly fast. I'm kind of tempted to have Karat attack just to get another shot off from the Excellence. I think healing is potentially prudent, but I'd rather be risky and do something interesting. I'm not going to bother boosting his damage, though, because that's not why we're here. Ooh, we could have boosted 10 to 20. Okay. I love his very, like, junkyard, garage style kind of look. It's very, I think, old school in a very good way. Okay, he's got HP restore, so even if we are doing damage this turn, it's not going to stick a lot of it. It is a restore small, so it's not that big a deal. He'll get, what, 5,000 back? That's okay. So at this point, we've done actually nothing to him, other than drain his energy a little bit. He does have a way higher chance to crit. He's got plus 30 to his crit. And he has a kit that's kind of similar to Koros's. The differences are we have 1 fewer range overall. And 2 of these attacks have no stipulation to them whatsoever. So even if we can knock out all of his energy, or just take his morale away such that he can't use it anymore, the laser is still decently potent. But cutting 400 damage off of something is not bad. The real trick is getting to, like, absolute close range. He uses the same stats, but that is like another 200 points difference. I guess the real trick, as if it's like making that much of a difference, it's not that big a deal. Oh, that's a bit of a bummer. So we can have Domon attack here and get a support attack off of a different version of the Getter that has the ability to support attack from that range. Okay. Seeing as we're not going to kill him this turn, I don't see any reason we have to get up close yet. I'd much rather just try to burn the energy to make future plans safer. I think Domon has enough of a defensive profile, too, that we're not going to equip him with anything. We're just going to send him in and let the God Shadow, the After Image, the Sword Pet, do something. Yeah, see? Look, God Shadow took care of it. I'm learning to like the God Gundam a little bit more. It definitely does pull its weight. if it can actually get close. Again, the trouble is just getting it there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So no matter what, we're only getting one more support attack off of Fiona. So why don't we have Catra use the getters, and then the getter uses Fiona's. We'll focus this. Ooh, and this seems like a perfect time to bring Bright in. Look at the difference in that accuracy. Oh, but we don't have, whoops, I messed that up. That is the one thing with the getter, is that it does not have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does not have a 5 range post movement option. Stink. Okay, that's fine. It'll still work out. He's still, yeah, like that was still a ton of damage. He is still Mondo dead next turn. I do think with better planning, I went into I went into this turn expecting us to not kill him, but okay. We probably actually still could have. Let's try. What parts are we packing? We got propellant tank. We don't need that. Let's excel. Not excel. That's extra movement. Awaken. Zeal. Still getting rid of the two. Let's double some damage. And we can flash. Oh boy, yeah, no, we're still killing him this turn. Oh man, I forget how busted SP can be. Okay. So we're gonna save the double damage for the last attack because we want him at a higher. The higher the HP threshold we can set him to before he dies, the better. He has less defensive properties that way. We need... Okay, we don't need accuracy. We need money. Oh no, we don't have double power. It was just a little short. Okay, I don't think this matters. I think we decided that doesn't matter, but we're going to try it anyway. It does reduce defensive qualities, so maybe it takes away his terrain bonuses, hopefully, maybe? XP? We could crit. I think we did 7,200 last time. Okay, again, we could have played that so much better. We had just a little bit more SP, we would have killed him. We still might. Let's see. Oh, no, yeah, the potential was there was still too much defense with the potential. We definitely needed that Valor. That's fine. I'll get punished for it. Not even that punished. I figured it was gonna take a lot more damage. Like that is his weakest attack. We are just gonna block this now because we do want to make sure we get the funds. But see, this is what I need though, right? Like that was very sloppy. I don't think it should have to be this way, right? Like I do think people that don't want to have to really put their brains to it need to. I don't think the game should be reserved for people who really want to put their brains to it. With that said, I do want at least the ability to have to do that, and I do think that comes from future titles a lot, right? Like I know that there's ace points to get some more challenge to the scenarios. I know that there is difficulty modes, and as you beat the game, you can also like rather than new game pluses giving you extra stuff, they're kind of more like new game minuses where you can give the enemies extra stats to make it harder. We're here if you will indulge me. I will only keep you captive for a little bit longer. Let's just bake this as grandiloquent as we can. Does that word work that way? Is grandiloquent only applied to words? Grandiloquent might maybe only applied to words. That might be wrong. But you know what I meant. Despite context clues often being wrong, you still get the vibe. Okay, what are we looking at? We can still drop him 20 more. You go over here. Oh, well, I'm gonna drop him 10 more, I think. That's fine. Oh no, he would still need two more from this point to be at the lowest. That's okay. The Combattler needs more SP. Or more energy, I mean. Oh, everyone's out of the Energizes? Okay. Oh boy, neither of these two have the ability to, supply energy to people. Okay. My Herbis has gotten me yet again. Will I ever learn? I wanted to come in and use our the combo attack with these two Beetle Energy Fighters because of how we chose to use the Carrot last turn. No, we still got this. Hold on. We can still give it to the Voltace though. Here we go. There, and then we can awaken the Carrot to energy restore. There we go. We figured it out. We'll need to. We can spirit back up. Which all of this is to say, there's no reason we need to do this. He is Ultra Gigamondo dead, but I think it's funny. Yeah, we still can't use this because the Combattler doesn't have enough energy left. You probably have a rivalry bonus now. Nope, you don't. That's fine. Okay. Hopefully this isn't miscalculated. I can't imagine it would be. I wish there was a better way to describe that rivalry bonus, too. Like, I want to call it supports, but, like, we already used the language supports for support attack and support defense. Like, that feels just misleading and unhelpful. Oh, man. I fixed myself some raspberries I got from the store today. They've been sitting on my desk this whole time, and I desperately want to have some, but it's just going to be Gris chomping into my... You were keeping me from my fruit snack. My boss. Not you guys. You guys can stay here as long as you want. If you want to keep talking, I'll... Not that you have anything you can do about this video. But no, that was the real victory was beating Don Saucer, so I can go have a bedtime snack. Well, excellent. I definitely struggled with those two bosses way earlier on. They definitely handed me about half of my units. But that's what happens when you have knowledge about this game, or about any of these games. I think it'll be a great deal of fun going into scenarios fresh for future entries. and seeing just how badly I get cleaned. But instead, we cleaned them. Is there anything else? I feel like the ending to that scenario was so unceremonious. Like, that boss presented no threat whatsoever, and I was really expecting them to be a little bit more difficult. I guess we can talk about next scenario quick. The main gist is we are sort of, there are two factions. One is moving to the right, one is moving to the left. We are going to need to cut our way through some Nadeshiko enemies, and then we're going to get a lot of waves of Nadeshiko grunts. So any of our pilots that we really care about that have not gotten all of their ace bonuses yet. I mean, obviously not all of them. We're not going to get like 150 units or something, but we can definitely get some ace bonuses. So like giving 5 to Domon, giving 2 to Saisaichi. Like we'll be a little more deliberate where kills are going. Next scenario to maybe get some more aces around. I guess that is most of our team. I was gonna say, like, that really feels like a small number of our pilots, but I think we went through a good chunk of them. Yeah, okay, that checks out. That checks out. We also have about 200,000 bucks to spend. At this point, I honestly do not know where they're going. I guess they're probably going to go onto another G Gundam pilot. I think pretty much everything else is already largely upgraded, right? That's, we can put a pip here. That's most of it. We may as well do it now. Oh, no wonder the Getter didn't win. It didn't finish it off. It didn't have all of the damage put into it yet. Okay. Well, that gives us an easy, immediate answer. We'll save this last one for we can definitely get this pip during next scenario. Cool, well, that cleared that up. I will need to figure out where the horror is going to go, though. I'll have to sit and think about that for a bit. We won't do that now. But I think the real price from that was this Haro. I believe there's only 2 in the game. I can't recall there being more. And as always, they are just the most cracked part. I wish there was a defensive one for this too. Defensive one like this that offered like armor, HP, and then instead of accuracy offered like, I guess, crit it would be. That sounds like almost too good. Nah, it's probably fine. It's probably fine. Like, this is busted. A part that says you don't get hit, like, is real good. To that point, actually, we should also, hold on, while we're here, let's look at what the Death Scythe's upgrades are looking like. Yeah, that's this. Oh, no, okay. We only need about 40,000 from next scenario to give the Getter its last attack point. So everything else can go into the... Actually, I was scrolling around like all of these, but no, really mostly just into this bar for the Death Scythe. That way we can be sort of just ignoring literally every combat, enemy combat that we're going into. We can just go, nope, no, we've decided you lose. It's my favorite choice to pick on that options. The attack, dodge, block, and you lose. It's a secret hidden option. Well, at the risk of me losing me attempting to make some more not jokes, let's wrap it up here. I'm definitely getting tired. It's nearly 4 in the morning. It's a normal bedtime for me, but that might be surprising for everybody else. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you sticking around through these. I am just really excited to see what the future holds. We're like getting to the end of the first series on the channel, and that's exciting. I've started posting some stuff, so I'm very happy with the reception. No matter how small the numbers are, I'm glad I'm making some people happy with them. And I look forward. The future seems bright, and I am delighted by that prospect. So hopefully I will see you in the next one, A Brighter Future. Take care, everybody.